interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Yo, it's Remember the Show. Slick with the flows, where the sparring can go. Who's gonna be on, man, you never will know. Guess you better tune in, cause we live from Chicago. Belal Muhammad, that's the king of the tweets. Jason Anik looks like John, step his hands to his feet. Every Thursday, we gon' give you a treat. It's Remember the Show, hit play and repeat. And retweet, and retweet, and retweet. And retweet, it's Remember the Show, hit play and repeat.
Yes, sir. It is episode 33. Remember the Show. I'm coming at you live from Circa Resort and Casino, Las Vegas, Nevada. It's 5:30. Sun is still out. I like this 5:30 Pacific time. Jason Anik here, the celebrity of our program, Belal Muhammad. You look like you're in a hotel as well. What's up, man?
I was about to say this should be a hotel edition. I'm at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut right now. This place is pretty nice too. I was surprised coming here. I'm like, dang, okay, Bellator. All right, we have a nice little spot. But it was like I just came back from Vegas last week and I'm over here and it's like nothing but casinos in here. This thing's all a casino resort. I'm like, oh, all right.
I know. I
don't gamble. So I'm looking there, standing there by the old ladies on the slot machines, like hoping one of them drops a coin.
Well, and I got to ask on the Belal. So are you hearing plenty of Boston accent while you're up there? Are you getting your fill?
Dude, I'm getting a lot. Like literally, I didn't realize how it was. And somebody just told me now that like, dude, we're right in the middle between New York and Boston and they're coming from both sides. I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah, I love it. So, dude, might as well start there. So you're at Mohegan Sun. They have a quarantine procedure. You're cornering your boy. Talk to us.
Yeah, he fights tomorrow. We had a quarantine on Tuesday. Other than that, I mean, it's been pretty smooth, easy. Yesterday was just a weight cut. But I'm tired of living in hotels. Last 3 weeks I've been in a hotel. So I came back to get back to normal life, get back to training again. The right way. But yeah, tomorrow night, maybe if you guys are tuning in, he's the second fight of the night. Bellator on their app is going to come hard. Adil Benjalani.
Adil Benjalani. And so he's a slight underdog because I'm in Vegas now. So I'll bring that.
Oh, are you okay?
But obviously a lot of big spots for your boys. And for me being sort of tied to you, I'm interested in your whole camp, right? So this is a big fight for your boy. I'm excited for him. Should be a good night for you. It must be kind of fun being in the corner. You know, you've had the spotlight on you. It must be kind of nice to take a step back for a minute.
Yeah, I was sitting there like they got like Krispy Kreme donuts in here. They got Ben and Jerry's on here. I'm like, there ain't nothing to do. So I'm like, there ain't nothing to do here but eat. So I'm like, now I know what it feels to be Lewis Taylor, where we just sit around and see him eating all.
You're on mute.
What a fantastic story we might have just missed.
It was amazing. That's all right. At least he's good looking, you know.
That's a good point.
That's all right.
Go ahead, Jason. Complete the show.
There you go.
I was like, yeah, now I know how it feels to be Lewis Taylor. I get to eat, not have to worry about weight cut, just chill and not stress out.
Well, speaking of the Krispy Kremes, though, because I might as well go here now. Certainly some rumblings the last couple of days about Neil Magny, Belal, remember the name Muhammad. So I heard him put out, I'll fight anytime in August. And I heard you put out September. So talking Krispy Kreme. So are there legs to that? Can you tell us any more than we already know?
I'm hoping, I hit up a manager. I try to get it even because I try to get this fight. When the original fight, Yair and Holloway both broke out. And I was like, yo, let me get this main event for July 17th. So I hit up a manager and I told him like, I'm sure Magny will be down because he's like literally the only guy that'll be willing to step up fight. But and didn't follow through. So then I like that name in the first place. And I guess that he heard rumblings that I asked for him. So then he put it out there like, oh, if he wants to fight, we can fight. And I'm like, let's do it. Like he's 8 and I'm 9. So like, it makes a lot of sense. And we're both willing to do it. So I just hope the UFC books it.
I hear you. Well, and also from your standpoint, I like that he's coming off a win. Bounce back from KSM and beat Jeff Neal. That's good. I like that. So it's interesting, man. I'm sitting here watching the fights last week, and we'll certainly get to UFC 264. But that fight did play out. Burns, Wonder Boy. I couldn't help but be watching that with a welterweight lens. So actually, let's spin it there. So what we don't know anymore about Magny right now, but so in your mind, with that event sort of shaking out, Burns, Wonder Boy, as you watch that and the end of that, are either of those guys on your radar at this point?
I mean, they both were. I mean, Wonder Boy makes sense now, but it all depends on what he's trying to do now, especially because you just lost there. So now it's going to it's a long road back to the title fight. Like, he was one of those guys, like, he fought for the title twice. He was right there at the edge. I felt like if he would have won that fight, for sure he was going to get that shot. So now that he lost, he's going to take a couple steps back, and being 38, he's going to need at least pick up at least 3 to 4 wins to be back in those talks again, I think, at least, or do something outrageous. I just feel like his style and Burns, I feel like, showed that, like, his last couple of fights, nobody really tried to shoot on him. And Burns showed maybe a weakness in his game that, like, yo, you take him down, you can hold him down. So that's the way to beat him. And, you know, Burns got a lot of flack from people saying, oh, this is a boring fight, yada, yada, but that's the way to fight Wonderboy. You're not going to sit there and try to bang with Wonderboy. Why are you going to try to outstrike one of the best strikers in the game with one of the hardest fight in the game? Like, if you could take him down, hold him down, Burns has one of the best jiu-jitsu in the game, and he controlled them. So that's
I'm with you, and I think he continued to look for the finish. He was continuing. And look, when we were talking about this fight before, you were talking about it, I held up 3 fingers. It's a blink for these two excellent mixed martial artists. It's just not enough time. But I didn't think he was just in there trying to get the W. I thought he was trying to get the finish. Yeah,
anytime that Wonderboy would hit him, and then Burns will literally come back. Like, he wants to get his lick right back, and he was coming back right at him hard. Like, he was biting down on his bottom lip. Like that shows that he was really trying to throw power in his punches. And just Wonderboy just so good with his distance. So, like, Burns had a couple of times where he whiffed on a couple of big overhand rights or big hooks, and he had to take far bad shots, and he'll shoot super low on him, because that's the only way to catch distance on Wonderboy, because he's so good at, like, knowing which way he has to go, when to take a step back, when to go forward, and when to cut angles. And Burns did a really good job of cutting that off and canceling that out.
So, all right. So good. We got the co-main event out of the way. So let me just back up a little bit. This event, and we talked about it a little bit last week, just the buzz in this event, the celebrity presence, it just, it filled up nice and early. So the fight card was tremendous. And before I get to the main event, I just want to touch, a little bit on my experience there and touch on the Chris Moutinho, Sean O'Malley fight. So that fight. So I happen to be sitting near DC's boxing coach, Rosendo Sanchez, and some of his guys from Sanchez Boxing. So it was very cool to meet him. And for me, I'm somewhat of a novice still. I'm still a fan. I don't profess to know anywhere near as much as you or these coaches and other fighters. So I'm sitting next to this guy from the Sanchez Boxing camp, Richard, and we're watching Moutinho O'Malley, right? And this guy wishes I knew more about boxing. This guy, Richard, he wants to talk to me about boxing. I'm like, dude, I know I could talk to you about basketball, football, baseball, a little hockey, mixed martial arts, but boxing, I don't have too much up in my dome of boxing. But anyway, so he really couldn't watch this fight after a while, watching Moutinho take these blows, right? So at the end of the first round, he's like, towel, that's it. He wanted the towel and end the first round. Just to him, it was clear Moutinho had no chance to win the fight. It was unnecessary abuse. And so he was at that point, towel in. So this dude, after whiles, not watching, right? This coach, I'm sitting next to this guy, Richard, who I like really? Very much and who taught me a lot, right? So anyway, I'll spin it to you. What are your thoughts there? I know you're going to be cornering this weekend. So do you think the corner should have thrown in the towel and give me some stuff there?
Yeah, for me, like, that was my first thought, is like the corner should have thrown a towel, especially after the second round. So, like, the first round, he went through it, but, like, there was really nothing there for him. Like, he was getting rocked way too much. He was getting hit. He was moving forward. Fans are going nuts, but, like, fans want to see blood and gore. Like, there wasn't like he was catching O'Malley with anything. And then by the end of the second round, there was nothing there he could have thrown at O'Malley to rock him. He wasn't even throwing punches. He was literally just walking forward with his hands up. Like, I tweeted out that he looks like a punching bag walking forward. Right. And that's literally what he was doing. Like, yeah, you're tough. You're showing you're tough, but it's like, these are 4-ounce gloves. And the fact that you're not getting knocked out, like, your brain's taking damage, and that's going to be long-term damage. And it's going to be even worse for you. Like, if it was one punch knockout, I'd rather have that than taking that much damage, that much punches, and you're not even getting your licks back. So it's like I said, Gilbert Burns, he was getting hit and he was getting his lick right back. This guy who wasn't getting, he was literally getting hit and walking forward, trying to be a tough guy. The fans are going to go crazy about it, but, like, the fans aren't going to be caring about you when you're 70 years old and you can't all you're doing is eating soup.
Loud and clear. And I think too, it was interesting, the boxing perspective, because boxing is different in that regard, where I know, John, he talks about it, he covered a boxing death. I mean, he was working an event where someone died, and so I don't know, to me, that sort of killed my buzz in the moment just because it was pretty dramatic for this guy. I think he's seen a lot over his years sort of coaching guys and boxing himself, and he wanted no part of that. So I thought that was pretty fascinating. Anyway, we got to get to the main event, and I'm not going to spend time talking about Conor McGregor. We're going to talk about Dustin Poirier. And by the way, we'll get to it in the Bix, but nice work hitting both the main and the co-main event on the Bix. So anyway, let's talk about Dustin Poirier, right? Now, I don't care. I'm going to say a couple things and then we'll let you roll. But I don't. The trilogy thing to me doesn't really matter because of how long ago the first fight was, right? So obviously they fought 6 months ago. We could talk about the 10-8 round, 10-9 round. We talk about the dominant first round. We can talk about how he broke his leg. We can talk about everything. But the bottom line is Dustin Poirier had already punched his ticket to deserve the undisputed championship opportunity, right? And then he took this fight. Now he punched that opportunity again. I can't wait to see him fight Oliveira. He has many, many ways he can win fights. He's a seasoned Hall of Fame Ultimate Fighting champion. I couldn't be happier for him. And no disrespect to McGregor, but the story is the diamond.
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's what I feel like. I feel like he's not getting the respect he deserves right now. Just the way he fought, he's so smart. And like everybody was like, oh, well, is he going to come out with the calf kick again? But no, he took him down. He showed ground and pound. That was like Khabib ground and pound, dominant ground and pound. And the biggest thing for me was, I don't know, like the way I explained it to people is like when you're coming off of a win, there's a different mindset to the game. And then when you're on Conor McGregor, who literally hasn't won in his last 3 fights, and you're going out there, and I felt like he was just hoping for something to happen, hoping. It wasn't the old confident Conor McGregor where he went in there like, I'm going to knock this guy out in the second round, and I really believed it. It was one of those where he was saying it, but he didn't believe it. And then when he jumped for that guillotine, it showed me that mentally he wasn't in there because like it was one of those, he was hoping that, all right, you know what, I want this to be it. Like, you're not a jits guy. Like, you don't go for – when is Conor McGregor never in his life will ever try to pull guard and with a guillotine. Like, he could have still defended that shot. It wasn't in deep. He could have fought for that shot. It was just one of those, he was overthinking it a little bit. I felt like he had it underneath the chin, and he's like, you know what, let me try to end this fight. Hopefully he'll go to sleep or something stupid like that. But like, it wasn't one of those confident Conor McGregor, you know, this is my move right here. I'm a black belt. I'm going for this guillotine, and I'm confident with it. He was like, he thought about it. Then he was standing. Then he was like, oh, should I lay down on my back? And then that just gave Poirier enough time to get out and hop over. And I mean, Poirier just showed like how good he is. And I'm honestly, I can't wait for that fight with him and Oliveira because that's gonna be really good. Like, the last person to finish Oliveira finished him with ground and pound, and now is our boy Paul fell there. So like, if Poirier comes out there with that type of ground and pound, he's gonna break this guy.
Well, and Chandler certainly had his opportunities there too. So that fight, Poirier opened as a slight favorite. It's interesting. Not a lot of guys, I don't think, be favored against the champ Oliveira.
Yeah, I mean, now like it all depends on now what's Poirier. Does Poirier still have that hunger? Because right now, I'm hearing things that he got like $5 million up front, and then plus whatever the pay-per-views are. So if he could be hitting at least $10 million right there, that's a different type of mindset right there. Now you're set a little bit. Now your family's good, they're fed. So now you know you're not going to get that same amount of money to fight for the title, which is weird. Right. But it's like, are you going to be as motivated to fight for the title? Or are you going to be that type of guy now, or are you going to have silk sheets?
I hear you. Well, Dustin Poirier doesn't strike me as too much of a silk sheets guy, so we might as well stay in the lightweight division. I think one of our guests is joining us. This is an up-and-coming stud in the lightweight division. There he is. Grant Dawson is on Remember the Show. What's up, Grant? Jason Anik here. You know Belal Muhammad. Welcome, bro.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Good, man. Good. Just moved into my new house, and we're getting everything figured out. So I'm good, man.
Oh, congrats. You bought it yourself?
Yep.
Okay. All right. You're learning from Krause, huh? I was just listening to this thing talking about investments and this. I'm like, dang, Krause is freaking a genius.
Yeah, man. His big goal is to get people to their dreams in fighting, but also to make sure that they have money when they're done fighting, so they don't just blow it all on good cars and hot women. So he's really been a blessing in my career.
That's awesome, brother.
So, dude, it's been a nice stretch for you, man. You're not losing much. You win on Dana White Contender Series, then you won 5 in a row. Nice win back in March. Performance of the night. So, lightweight seems to be a nice place for you. Going against Diego Ferreira in October. So you've got a new house, move in, and I'm sure you're excited for October. It's a big opportunity for you.
Yeah, it's finally cracking into the top 15. I feel like a lot of the guys in the top 15, whether it's 45 or 55, they're getting in off of just winning fights against nobodies. You know, not a lot of guys are fighting top 15 guys to get into the top 15. And so I'm getting in the honest way, if you will. I'm fighting a top 12 guy. That's going to be my way in. And I'm so excited. This is a dream come true. And I really don't think I could have gotten a better matchup.
Bully, what else you got for Grant?
So seeing Diego's last fight, Diego was on a hot streak before that last fight. You know, he was like one of those guys that was right there at the cusp of a title shot. Then you fought a monster like Gillespie, and it was like a great the first round was literally back and forth, and you're like, it was all came out to breaking mentally. Like, are you training? Like, what's your training purposes for this right now? Like, are you doing a lot of like grappling, or are you like more striking, or is it like you're letting Krause be the head coach and like, yeah, we're gonna do this today, tomorrow we're gonna do this. Like, you're leaving him in charge.
I always leave my my coach in charge, but really for me, I kind of feel like it's a one size fits all. I'm gonna get in your face. I'm gonna try to wrestle you and ground and pound you, but I really feel like I can do everything. And you know, going back to what you said about him kind of mentally breaking in his last fight, he took that fight on short. Don't know that. That's why he missed weight, and that's why I feel like he wasn't in as good of shape as he normally is. So I'm preparing for the best Diego Ferreira is. I'm preparing for a guy that's not going to gas out, that's not going to miss weight. And, you know, he's on a 2-fight skid, so his back's against the wall. You know, you never want to go on a 3-fight skid. And me, you never want to lose to a guy on a 2-fight skid. So I feel like there's a lot of line in this fight, and I'm preparing for it.
Well, we got another guy joining us tonight with some momentum. There he is, off a nice, clean victory Saturday night against Carlos Condit. There he is, Max Payne Griffin. Welcome to Remember the Show, brother.
What up? What up? What up? Thanks for having me, you guys. Thanks for having me.
What's up, bro?
What up, man?
You done celebrating your victory or what? You back to training?
Oh, I need to take some time off. My body's fucked. My legs, my arms, just
Any injuries from the fight?
Huh?
Any injuries from the fight?
We'll see. We'll see on my shins. I think I might have some shin splintering from kicking them so much, but I get X-rays tomorrow, CT tomorrow, MRI tomorrow.
Wow.
I do this shit to myself.
Hey, well, you did some shit to him too. His legs were, my brother said his legs up close were just raw everywhere.
Yeah, no, it's good to be not on the receiving end. So.
Right, exactly.
Did you have to get a little like when I fought Damian Maia, I was like, man, I'm fighting Damian Maia. Did you get any of that feeling when you were fighting Carlos Condit? Like, dang, all right, this is Carlos Condit right here. Like, I'm sure you watched him when you were coming up too.
Yeah, not till after, to be honest, man. Before, when I first got the fight, I was all, Carlos Condit. My coach said, cut that shit out. You know, he's a body trying to take money from you. So it's not till after I beat him and actually went to his hotel room after that I was like, oh my God, I'm about to go to Carlos Condit's room. And I was a total fanboy when I went after. When I was done.
Okay.
So Bully, you want to shoot to the game show, or you want to chop it up a little bit more first?
We'll put it on the game show right now. Both of you guys, let's get it set up, Cody.
All right, Grant, you have tough shoes to fill. Laura Sanko had a great performance on you. Put some pressure on you from Glory MMA, so we'll see what you can do. We'll show you the rules. Main thing you got to remember is if you know the answer, shout bully. You'll see a question pop up, a lot like Jeopardy. You know the answer, shout bully. Wrong answer, points go to your opponent. Most points wins the show. So pretty easy. You answer correctly, you get the points. The real key is if you know the answer, say bully. Best of luck, boys.
All right, boys. Here goes your categories for today. Say what? These are like odd little facts that you didn't know about, and there're gonna be some fun ones. You're gonna be like, oh dang, no way, I didn't know that, or maybe you do know that. Secondly, who is he or she? These are guy fighters with girl filters. So this is just one guy fighter, and it has a girl filter on there. This is face match. So these are two fighter faces matched together. You got to tell me which two fighters they are. And then nickname is the game. So this is fighter nicknames. Tell me what's the fighter's nickname. Easy as that. So, Grant, you're here first. I'll let you pick the first category, but either one of you guys call it out.
Let's go face mash for 200.
Face mash for 200. So this is two fighter faces here.
Billy.
Max.
That's Misha Tate and Marion Renault.
Dang, okay. That was pretty easy. All right, Max still winning out here.
That was
Max
nice.
has watched the show before. He knows.
All right, Max, you get the points. Continue with you.
I do who is she for 400.
Who is he or she for 400?
Big.
All right. This is one guy.
Billy.
Max.
Joe Rogan.
Boom.
Bam. Let's go.
God, he's killing me already.
Come on, Grant.
I want the smarter fighters fucking run around this thing.
You're up, Max. You continue on.
We do nickname for 300.
Nickname is the game for 300. Rodolfo Vieira. This is a pretty good one.
Anthony
Has to do with
fought him.
jiu-jitsu.
Anthony fought him. I don't know his name though.
Come on, guys.
It's actually probably one of the lamest nicknames.
Pretty lame, yeah. The Black Belt Hunter.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
Yeah, me neither. No.
I was sitting there to do my research. I was like, all right, this guy's fighting this weekend. All right, Max, you continue on.
Face mash for 300.
Face match for 300. Two fighter faces.
Bully.
Grant.
It's DC and Max.
I
Let's go.
knew it was me. I just didn't know who the other dude was.
You're back on the board. All right, Grant. There you go. Do it for Glory MMA.
Let's do say what? For let's go 200.
200. Max Holloway's first fight nickname was what? I'll tell you this. He was a big fan of Jens Pulver.
I didn't even know.
Come on, guys.
Bully? Little Evil? I said bully.
Come on, Cody.
I said bully. Come on, Cody.
I'll take points for myself, I guess. Sorry, guys.
All right. Well, I'll give that one to Max.
Yeah,
He said it last second. But we'll give him half the points, Cody. All right, go ahead, Max.
Let's do face mash for 100.
Face match for 100. Two fighter faces.
Bully.
Grant.
Robbie Lawler and not Zabit. The Russian with the.
Come on, Grant. The fight just got booked.
Oh, his name. I can't think of it.
And time's up.
Damn that.
It's Nick Diaz.
Oh,
I'll
Come
take
on.
it.
It just got booked.
I got Robbie. The
That was
I can't
surprising.
tell who that
I
was
like
either.
that.
I thought it was a
His
Russian.
forehead.
I don't know what it was.
All right, you go, Max.
900 or that was for 200, wasn't it? Or 100. You're not keeping my
You're
points,
giving
are
his
you?
points. Don't try to steal his points from him, Cody. Go ahead, Max.
Fucking, they're trying to call my weight wrong. They're trying to steal my points. I don't remember the show. Who is she or he on 300?
For 300.
Bully.
Grant.
Is it Shane Burgos?
Come on, Greg. Second time in a row.
I'll take it.
Oh,
Holy,
man.
you gotta clean your phone, bro. That's not your phone, is it?
Dude, I was making it when I was in a
Yeah.
sauna. I was in a sauna cutting weight with my guy.
I've seen that he's fighting this weekend.
Yeah, he's fighting tomorrow.
Okay, good luck to him.
Appreciate you guys. You're up, Max.
Let's do who is she for 200?
Who is he? She for 200.
Bully.
Max.
That's my man, Forrest Griffin, right there.
The chest hair. The chest hair is the one that sold it.
Yeah.
Team Griffin, baby. That's my boy. I know his body.
Come on, Grant. You're getting killed here. Let's go. You're up, Max.
Yeah. I
Let's
thought that.
do who is she for 100?
Who is she
Fuck
for
that
one?
board.
Bully.
Bully.
I
You give
Grant.
it to him. You give it to him.
Yeah, Grant.
You give it to him.
You got it.
Let's go. Finally.
Old Sean O'Malley. Black hair Sean O'Malley.
All right.
You're up, Grant.
He used to look like that. On that picture on that meme, I forgot he used to look.
Dude, right?
Let's go nickname for 400.
Nickname 400. This is big. Philip Hawes. Same as Calvin Johnson. You guys watch football? Come on, guys. He's what's the word I'm looking for?
Super villain.
I don't think it's
I don't want to be
supervillain.
wrong. I know how like the letters go. I know the end of it. I don't know the beginning of it.
You should
Leader
try.
of the Decepticons.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Decepticons.
He's the leader of the Decepticons?
Yeah.
Bully.
Grant. Huh?
Megatron?
Boom. There you go.
I didn't know the nickname. I just knew who the leader of the Decepticons was. Nerd.
All right. This may be coming back right now. You're up,
No.
Grant.
I got to try. Let's go say what for 400.
Say what for 400. All right. Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler 1. What was the main event of that card? Tito versus Chuck, Arlovsky versus Couture, Hughes versus GSP, or Vito versus Couture? Robbie Lawler versus Nick Diaz 1. What was the main event?
Bully.
Grant.
Tito versus Chuck.
Boom.
You better
That
not be
was
looking at the
big.
computer and shit. You better not be going to the side searching on there.
You need the help, right?
Damn it. This is a comeback right now, Max. You're standing still right now.
Let's go nickname for 100.
Nickname for 100. Ilya Topuria had a great win last weekend. See if you guys remember his name. Come on, Max. He's on your card.
I don't know his nickname.
That almost makes it harder because you're not thinking about
Huh.
I'll give you. It's like bullfighting.
Oh,
That's a hint. Grant.
Is it Matador?
Boom.
This
All
might-
right. We're neck and neck right now. This is basically like the NBA playoffs.
I'm good at
Let's go, Grant.
Let's go say what for 100.
Say what for 100. How many of Nick Diaz's UFC fights were main events?
Yeah, we don't know this. And if he knows, he look.
I'm gonna take a guess.
I'll give you a hint. It's less than 5.
2.
And it's 4. His last 4 fights were all main events.
I was thinking GSP and Anderson Silva. Those are the only 2 I could think of.
Condit.
That's right. No,
And
Condit
BJ
was
Penn.
Was
Huh?
it? Condit was a main event?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was for the interim title.
You right.
You're up, Max.
No,
What
I'm
do
not-
face smash for 400?
Hey, this is big right here. You need this right now, Grant. Oh my God. This one right here is the perfect one for you. This has your name right all over it, Grant.
Bully.
Max.
Chase Hooper and Diego Ferreira.
Dude, how did you get that one? That was a good one.
I saw Chase Hooper. I couldn't see Diego.
Oh my dude, he looked like an evil villain. That dude, that was the funniest one I ever did.
Now I think Max just led him back into it there.
You're up, Max.
I won if I don't lose. Nickname is the game for 200.
You don't lose.
Khaled Taha. This is a hard one, but he's fighting this weekend.
I don't know that.
Yeah, no idea.
The Warrior.
That was generic.
A real
It was like, all right, how many brothers does Khabib actually have?
bully.
Grant.
3.
He actually only has one brother. God dang it. Another loss for Glory MMA. Your winner.
Oh,
Back-to-back wins.
let's
Max
go.
Griffin.
Congrats.
oh. RTS 31, baby.
He can't lose this week.
Oh. I'll take it. Cheers.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Good win. So 2021's been a good year for you, man. You had your Tyrus, your son born, couple wins in the UFC. Now remember the show. Doing good, man.
Yeah, we're winning, baby. No, thanks for having me on. And Jason, you said that sound dead on your brother, bro.
Dude, it's the truth, man.
Are you guys twins?
Yeah. Identical.
Yeah, I do. Dead on. Like dead on. Dead voice, fucking.
Well, you know, identical twins do have matching DNA. So it's his voice has changed with the broadcasting, and but it's a trip, man. It's like when I don't have long hair, I gotta wear a hat and walk around here. Everyone thinks I'm someone else. But the long hair helps me out, sort of step out of his shadow a little bit. But I was there Saturday night, man. It's just, and obviously I've been watching Condit forever, man, but that was great. And I have to say, man, right at your what you said after that, asking people to follow you on Instagram. I turned to my buddy right next. We both looked at each other. That's exactly what he should have said in that moment. And Belal will tell you, man, we get a lot of fighters on here. It's so important to promote yourselves. And I'm telling you, I love that you led with that. It's that we're in that world. You got to do it.
And that's why I did it, That's why I did it. So I got a little boost, and I'll take it.
Speaking of social media, Grant, we're going back to the loser has to do a mean tweet, but you can't say it was from this show. So
What?
you have to tweet something, and you can't say it's because the show made you tweet it.
What do I have to tweet?
For today's show, you got to tweet out Conor McGregor faked that injury.
One.
You got to tweet it out. Just let it be.
I got 8 followers on Twitter though, so I don't.
Dude, it doesn't matter. The Conor McGregor followers are gonna freaking. They're gonna eat it up.
They're gonna be
You
on
write
your
anything
ass,
about
bro.
Conor,
You want me
they're
to
gonna be
Instagram too? I'll post a picture.
It'll be a BJ Penn headline tomorrow that Grant Dawson thinks Conor's fake ankle injury.
Clearly, he is not a doctor.
Oh my god, dude! Literally, anytime I comment anything on one of Conor McGregor's posts, his fans will literally send me death threats, and I'm like, bro, what? Like, all I said was I was picking Dustin Poirier. That's like I didn't say anything else. Like his fans are just like nuts.
I posted on my story. It was Dana White talk. It was just a joke, but it was Dana White talking about Dustin versus Conor 29 because the first 27 did something like that. Got one of his followers on there being like, that last fight shouldn't have counted. It should have been a no contest. You don't know anything about the sport. You should go kill yourself. All this stuff, man. It's crazy.
Dude, these people are nuts. And it's like crazy because I'm starting to realize how much like trolls there are out there. And then I know somebody that plays a girl that plays softball, and she's in Auburn. She's a freshman at college. She got a scholarship to Auburn, and she's a beast. And she's like, yeah, it's crazy. Like after my first game, you're like you strike out once, and there's Twitter trolls are just like on you like that. And I'm like not even realizing that girls that play softball are getting freaking trolls on them. And I'm like, man, I just feel bad for this world. Seriously, it's just like crazy.
Yeah, there was that one girl that choked her opponent to sleep, and I guess pushed her off of her too aggressively, and it's just butchered online. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It was 2 shows ago. It's crazy what people will get upset about.
It's nuts.
Yeah, I just feel like people just want to freaking argue about anything.
Sure,
Can't make everybody happy.
Max, was I gonna say? Well, Grant got a fight coming up. You have anybody in mind for your next one?
No, I wanted to do Lawler, but he got Nick Diaz. I want to take out all the legends.
Okay.
Cerrone, but he went to 55. So.
Oh, he went back down?
I think he did.
Yeah, he did.
I thought he did.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, either those guys or someone ranked. I want to start I want to join the party, but I want to start chipping away at this shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm about to say you got a good streak going right now, and it's like that's why I tell people it's about momentum too, and just be willing to fight.
Yeah.
And then I feel like none of these guys are like they're like just sitting back and not wanting to do
Yeah,
anything.
it's like a drama. It's like a soap opera. Like, just fight.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, you forget like when you're outside of the UFC, you're like willing to take a fight at any moment. Like, man, if I get to call up next week, I'm gonna do it anything I can to get to the UFC. But then when you get in the UFC, like you're just sitting down with your sitting on your hands, like, oh, you know what? No, I don't like that one. Let me wait for the next one, or let me wait for the next one after that.
So Max, I assume you probably want to get one more in this year, I would think, before
Yeah,
the
like
year's
the year though. The end of the year, I wanted to go on a vacation, man. I was fighting a lot for me. I think 3 fights in 8 months. So I'm like, I want to go to Hawaii or like somewhere chill where I could just relax and not train, not
yeah,
be
like
anymore.
and chill on the beach, knowing that you beat Carlos Condit. You know what I mean? And no disrespect to Max Griffin, that's a name too, but Carlos Condit, man. I mean, I'm 43 years old. I've been watching that cat. I know you guys aren't all too young. Grant's the youngest, but dude, that's a nice. My brother always uses this term scalp, but dude, you're always gonna look at Wikipedia and look at your page and see that green line next to Condit. That's nice.
Yeah, no, I was, talking to him after it really synced in. Like, holy shit, I just beat Carlos Condit. Like, I couldn't believe he was talking to me. Like, it was a weird thing, I didn't know how much I like turned that off until after when it was like I was nervous to like talk to him.
Right, not nervous to get in a cage with him. I love it.
Yeah.
Great.
Well,
I know you had a couple of fights at 45. Like, are you liking 55 now? Are you set there? Like, you feel like you were just too big for 45, or was it like?
Yeah, so I had my first 2 fights at 45. I made the weight. It wasn't easy, but I made it. And then I fought a guy who's my teammate now, actually, and I missed weight. And I told my coaches and I told my manager, I was like, hey, give me one more chance to see if I can make 145. And if I miss or if I even come close to missing, I'll go up. And the UFC, that's when like the pandemic started. And so we did Fight Island, and the UFC actually gave me a catch weight of 150. And I almost at 150. I didn't. But it like I had to dig deep to make 150, and I was like, I can't do this again. And I still get, hate messages online about missing weight. As of course, that's terrible. But to save myself that embarrassment again, I moved up, had one fight against a pretty decently sized 55er, and I can't see myself going back. That hot tub scares me, man. I get like PTSD when I get into hot hour.
Yeah, Bellator gives you saunas here, like the personal saunas here, and then my boy like was cutting weight all day yesterday, and then like Bellator lets you take the sauna home. He's like, no, I don't want it. Leave it here. I do not want to see that sauna again. I was like, all right, it's like $200, but all right.
So Bully's got a new sauna. That's what he's saying.
Basically, I'm like, all right, I'll give it a second.
Right. Well, you guys were great, man. Hopefully there's numbers by both your names, when we have you all back on the show, but both on nice streaks, man. We're watching you closely, and a lot of people have been on this show. Good things continue to happen. So thank you, guys. We appreciate it.
Nice. Let me know when you want me to defend my title. If you're going to come do like a winner's circle thing, or
nice.
I think we got to get a winner's circle. We got
you're in the
you're cocky, the big
Pair me up against Bucks.
I'll give you Kraus.
Oh no.
All right, boys.
Thank you. Nice.
God dang, another L for Glory MMA.
Dude, I hear you. Well, hey, that's all right. Max, man, dude, it's just I love talking to guys like a few days after. I mean, like I'm in the building watching dude fight, and then he's on the show a few days later. It's just great to be able to just connect so shortly after he fights. I love it. Well done, Bully. So
they answer their DMs.
Exactly. You slide up in them. Anyway, we are going to get DC and Max Holloway. I talked to John today. I was like, dude, you gotta help facilitate that. They gotta compete in some facility, and this is the perfect facility. So anyway, we got to get to the Bix. Cody Merrow, if you're still with us, please, sir. So one thing I'll just say to you, I do like to gamble. I was at the fights last week. I didn't bet on the fights. I didn't want to bet on the fights. So just know.
Not even that fight. That was the most bet card ever, right?
Well, to be honest with you, it's like I wanted to enjoy whatever happened. I don't always like having to be like rooting for a certain side, and I can't tell you how much I enjoyed the card having no action on it.
Did you have good seats?
Yeah, I mean, I was in John's seats, so they're good. They're not on the floor. They're up in the first level, but it's great. But I gotta say, man, like for me, not being able to hear the broadcast. I like hearing the broadcast, not only because it's John, but I like hearing it. And also the TVs, man. It's like, it's hard not to watch the screens when you know what I mean? Certain angles.
I literally tell people all the time, I'm like, I want to bring like headphones so I can listen to the broadcast as I'm watching it. Like there's a different energy in there, but it's like, I still want to hear them talking.
Exactly. You sort of get caught up in that, like get Mutino just taking all those blows. You're just sort of like in the moment. And also, too, for me, like I like giving John, I like being able to talk to him after about how it went for him. And, when he says stupid shit, being able to tell him that. So, for me, it's sort of weird not knowing really how his night went, from my standpoint.
People try to call him out, I think, when he said that the only two people in Russia that they watch are Canelo and the other guy that fought this weekend. But I think that was right, though, right? Yeah, well, so if you watch it back, he explained it to me, but he didn't. Whatever he said, it was Cody can probably speak to it better, but he didn't. He said, you're right. Whatever he said was right. I don't know exactly what it was, but he referred to them watching. People were saying, why would he say Canelo is Triple G? But then he said, no, they told him it was Canelo.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. That's a perfect example. Like, I don't even know. I know nothing about that, But
yeah. I mean, I watch the card on mute. So like, I have no idea.
Like, but I don't know. I said this to whoever will listen, but I'm giving my brother props because that pink jacket, he picked that out. He picked it out. So, but it's funny, and he said this on his podcast. But it's like he's always with the play-by-play. He's like, it's not about me. I don't want any attention on that. But. So for him to sort of like get some attention for his suit, it's almost like he's like, all right, you know what I mean? You're a humble guy, bully. There's only so much attention.
Dude, literally, I was over here walking in the hallway. Some dude had a picture of me and wanted me to sign it, and I was like,
saw
what?
That. I love it.
Yeah, I was like, all right, this is cool.
It is funny though having guys like Max Griffin on, who's like looking up at you in the division. I also love that component too. Because that would be a good matchup. I think you have your sights set above you. But anyway, moving on. So Cody, I just had it up there 57% last week, 8-4. As I said, hit the co-main event and the main event. It's UFC Fight Night, Makhachev Moises. So we're going to start in the lightweight division. Jeremy Stevens, Mateusz, is that it, Cody? Mateusz Gamrot. I don't even care if I pronounce it right.
You're in a room with John. You probably heard him say it like hundreds of times by now, right?
I'm not in the room. He's working. I'm not in the room.
Gamrot.
I'm not stadium swim, baby. I'm not in the room. Anyway, so Jeremy Stevens, right? Can't get that shove of Jakar Close out of my head. Couldn't fight the last time he fought. So Matu's about a 2-1 favorite.
Sorry to interrupt. Did you see what Jeremy Stevens said about that in his presser?
No.
Where you just call him soft or something like that?
He's like, I don't deal with people that are like that, man. Like, he was, pretty much. He's just like saying, oh, that was despicable behavior because he didn't like take the fight. And he's like, it's a good thing we didn't fight, like, because I was going in there to like physically hurt him, and he clearly wasn't about that life. So he's like, it's good that fight didn't happen.
Well, I hope that fight does happen at some point.
I'll watch Jeremy
fight him again.
I'll watch Jeremy Stevens fight a telephone pole. Dude.
He said I would never fight. I would never take that fight again. That guy saw for doing that, and like I was like, bro, like I know people that actually know him, and that he was like literally texting him like, yeah, bro, like I'm seeing, I can't see anything, I'm throwing up and blah blah blah, and I'm like, it was literally a concussion. I'm like, you're cutting weight, you're standing there on the stage, you're not expecting a push. And dude, that was a hard push. So like anything can happen. It's whiplash. So I'm like, bro.
Yeah. And his neck was loud and clear. So Stevens about a 2-1 underdog here. He's winless in his last 5. He made his UFC debut more than 14 years ago. I mean, that's insane. You were 18 when he made his UFC debut.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It's nuts. But anyway, winless in his last 5. This dude, Mateusz, whatever his name is, no disrespect, but he can really fight. He's had some success outside of the promotion. Who do you like in our first pick?
Yeah, Gamrot, he has a lot of hype coming into the UFC. He's like pretty good everywhere. I just don't like the fact that Jeremy Stevens is on a losing streak, and then coming off that last fight where it didn't happen. Like, I don't know, just mentally, I just don't think he's there right now. But dude got freaking rocks in his hand, grenade in his hand. He's gonna come to fight no matter what. Like, whether he's old or 50 years old or 30 years old, he's gonna sit there, be the same Jeremy Stevens with the same style, come at you, try to take your head off. But I think Gamrot's gonna be too smart for him, and I think he's gonna finish Jeremy Stevens on the ground.
So Jay, would you say, or would your brother say that this is a prohibitive favorite? I don't think you can bet on Gamrot, knowing that, like Bully said, Jeremy Stevens has got that one knockout power. That's all it takes for him is one. I mean, look at the who was it that he fought that he crushed his whole face in for like 8 months after Josh Emmett.
Oh, I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his last win, right?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, that was the last one.
But to me, it's like you talk about that power. To me, honestly, it's like, kind of like the McGregor thing. It's like Conor McGregor's a knockout artist. That's his only way to win the fight. Poirier can win it all sorts of different ways.
Exactly.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Now he's got a titanium shin bone.
Yeah, well, McGregor's
the look on your faces was worth that comment alone. I love you guys.
Anyway, McGregor's one lightweight win against Eddie Alvarez, former Bellator champ.
And like they literally just keep coming. That's what pisses me off the most. That like his coaches will come. Like he was looking good. I was like, bro, he was not looking good. Like Poirier was like dominating with ground and pound, and then he wasn't doing the simplest thing of just putting your feet on the hips and kicking off. Like there was no point in that ground exchange where he put his feet on the hips and kicked off. He was literally standing there with his guard locked up. He's not a guard player. He didn't try to stand up. He was sitting there elbowing from the ground saying, oh, I'm elbowing. I was doing my 12-6 elbows to your face. How does that feel? Like I was in a good spot. Like these guys are delusional when they talk. And then it's like worse than a yes man. Like obviously like his coach is probably getting his coach's life changed working with McGregor because McGregor paid him all this money. And like, you don't want to say anything stupid to him, but it's like, bro, like you lose all credibility when you're saying like, we were in a good spot right there. Round 2 would have been all ours. I'm like, bro, he was getting dominated in round 1. His face was getting pounded and he jumped guard. He pulled on a guillotine, so his arms are going to be even more flushed and dead in that second round for a guy that already gasses out. So, like, relax.
Amen. Well put. Moving on. Women's bantamweight division. So, Marion Renault, I couldn't.
I almost feel like we should like end with this one. It's like for me, this is my main event. I don't know about you, Jason. Well, let me jump in here. What's your seats for this fight?
What's that?
Are you excited? Are you excited to be at the UFC Apex for this fight?
I am excited to be at the UFC Apex. I'd like to get a credential at some point. We'll see. Hopefully that'll be coming. Yeah, no, I'm very excited.
Pin your hair back, wear a hat, and just walk in fast. Just be like, I'm on the phone. Like I said, just be on the phone.
But for me, like that, I enjoyed last weekend, but if I'm able to go to the Apex, like that's where it's really at for me, sort of being real close to the octagon and just sort of being in your world, Bully, like that.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll be able to get in there, and then hopefully in August or September be able to go to watch you fight Magny. But I tell you, like, no disrespect to John's boy who I went to this fight with, but John and I were talking. It's like you give me that ticket, I'll put Muhammad next to me in the next fight, okay? If he's not in the car, Anyway. But yeah, Cody, this can be the main event. That's fine. So Marion Renault just turned 44 years old. This is her sort of retirement bout. But to me, the story's all on the other side. Miesha Tate, it's been 4.5 years, I think, since she fought. I think absolutely she can make another run here. She looks great physically. I'm surprised these odds are closer. No disrespect to Marion Renault, but I'm going to be surprised if Miesha Tate doesn't win this and sort of start her next sort of run here. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what Miesha Tate shows up. She was like kind of like in an era where girls were good, and she was like one of those, like they were good in specific spots, and she was pretty much well-rounded everywhere. She was that brawl style, come in your face, and she could take you down, wrestle you, and she had pretty good ground game. She's always exciting to watch. I'm excited to see, when you're taking that much time off, if you actually been training or like if your game's evolved a little bit. I know she was working for ONE FC, so maybe sometimes when you're sitting on the sidelines watching, you see different things like, oh, maybe this will work for me or something like that. You put these little tricks in your thing, and maybe that excited her to make her want to come back, especially being a mom now. She has other things to fight for. I know that she was saying that she's like in a better relationship now, so she doesn't have all that stress that she had when she was fighting. I want to see what she does. And Marianne, she said this is a retirement fight, so there's really no motivation for her to like win this fight. Honestly, it's like, all right, well, this is my retirement fight. Let me just go out there one last time, and I'm going against somebody that I've always wanted to fight against, Miesha Tate. And I think she's gonna be kind of starstruck, and I think Miesha Tate's gonna beat her. And I'm excited. I hope she does, because I want new blood in the division. I want nobody's thinking that who does Amanda have to fight next. Like if Miesha comes in there, wins this fight, it brings new attention to that division.
Absolutely. And also too, I mean, we don't know what all of the last 4.5 years have been like for Miesha in terms of her growth in mixed martial arts, and taking a step back and watching, you can also evolve that way too, I would think. So I can't wait to watch her fight. So Cody, I know that should be the main event, but we got to at least talk about this Makhachev fight.
No, I was just being facetious. All credit to Islam Makhachev.
Okay, facetious. All right, Stephen A. Smith.
So Moises, right? He's won 3 in a row. Dude's 26 years old. He's a good mixed martial artist, certainly. Makhachev, ultimately, I'd like to see him shake the top 5 here. I know he doesn't maybe have a lot to gain against Moises. I'd like to see him finish the fight, Makhachev. I think he's a bad man. How do you see this one playing out?
I mean, literally, it's one of those things where I'm getting a little nervous for Islam just because everybody's looking past Moises, and it's like, yo, this is still a fight, and anything can happen in a fight. And he's one of those guys. He has heart, especially when he fought Michael Johnson. He was getting killed in the first round, and then the second round he comes in and gets that ankle lock and finishes him off with that. And that's a dangerous guy. I know it was like a weird split decision with him and Bobby Green last fight. I mean, there's really nothing special about him, but it's like it's still anything can happen in a fight, and especially when you're coming in with so much confidence. I don't think Islam's one of those guys that looks past him, but everybody's looking past him for Islam. Like, oh, Hooker's like, I want to fight him next. And they're talking about, hey, well, I don't want to fight Hooker next. I deserve somebody even better than Hooker next. And then you got the pressure of Khabib saying that he should be number 3 already. Like when I was only going to retire when I knew that Islam was next in line. He's already falling behind, so he needs to do something in this fight. There's a lot of pressure on him right now. So it's
Absolutely.
like he has to produce in his first main event. Like you said, he needs a big finish. And to have Khabib in his corner, that's just another pressure on you. But these Russian guys, they don't feel pressure. They don't care about pressure. That's soft.
Right?
I think he's going to go out there. He's going to show the world, and people are going to realize that, yo, we got another guy in our hands that's a killer in this division.
Well, and so I popped in here because I 100% agree with you, Bully. And at the beginning, what came to mind was this is one of those fights where he almost has to go in there and just be like a nasty finisher. Like this is where you have to go in and make a statement that puts everyone on notice. Like I'm not the guy who's just going in there and winning fights. Like I'm finishing dudes. I'm doing it violently. Like I think this is a huge statement opportunity, similar to what Sean O'Malley had last weekend. And, some could argue that Moutinho got more of the star than O'Malley last weekend from that performance. And so you don't want, if you go out there in your Islam and you do that, you can't back up the talk about Hooker. If you go out there and lay a 25-minute egg on Thiago Moises, it's a win's a win. And as many fighters have said, you have to do what you have to do. But I think he needs to go out there and make a statement to back up that Dan Hooker talk and all this other kind of elevated sense.
Yeah, but for me, like, dude, the fact that he finished Drew Dober last, that showed me everything I need to see from this guy. Like Drew Dober's, I think, ahead of Thiago Moises right now. And Dober was a killer on a good streak right there before that. And to finish a guy like that was
no arguing that he's a top 10 lightweight, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of getting the right fights. And, half the lightweight division isn't fighting right now. 1/10 of it has a broken leg.
Yeah.
Tony Ferguson's not fighting for the rest of the year. Like 2/10, it trickles down fairly quickly. Sean and Charles right. And so I think that pretty much summed up that fight. But as far as like next for the lightweight division, like if you're Poirier, don't you want to kind of do it as quick as possible and start like milking it a little bit? Like I think that Poirier is going to smash Charles. Like, and I would want to do it November, October, like before the end of the year, before Christmas. So I think the lightweight division is an amazing place.
I honestly don't think he's going to do it. Like I said, I feel like he got new money coming in the bank account. Christmas is right there. I feel like
my thought was like, if it's not November, then he's not gonna like. No one wants to train through Christmas. Like when you have all this money and you love your kids and like, what are you gonna be in the gym every week of December? Like, no, you're gonna chill. Like, give me February, March.
Yeah, Connor's not fighting for another year. 2021. Maybe he'll take out the rest of the year. You never know with these guys. Now
you know he's guaranteed one next year, so maybe like end of next year. But once Conor comes back, that's an easy check to cash.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do a 3. Like 3 really doesn't make sense to me.
4.
I think literally Conor honestly needs to find somebody that's not gonna take him down. So he needs to fight somebody because he needs a win. His next one needs to be a win. I forgot who somebody was saying what show it was on, but they were like Conor needs to go back down to 45, and I don't think he's gonna do that because that weight cut was already brutal for him.
Too.
Like you just need to be one of those guys that's willing to fight below you. Because right now it's like, all right, well, I want to be the pay-per-view draw, this, and this. But it's like sometimes you just need to get a win under your belt, get some momentum back going because you just got killed by Poirier twice. And like I said, it's a different mindset. Who said it?
Max Kellerman said that.
Oh, did he?
It's like, how is Conor going to make one? Conor can't make 145. Come on.
Yeah, I'm like,
if
bro.
He kills himself. If he cuts off, if he literally goes in there without the ankle, he might be able to make 145.
Yeah, I'm like, he's not going to cut that weight. Like, he cut that weight when he was on this come up, when you're hungry, when you're that hungry lion on the way up, and you need to, you're the biggest guy at 145. You can fight for that title. That's what you need. And now that you got your bank account full, your belly's full, you're not going to cut that weight anymore.
Well, and like for me, Conor McGregor's sort of in the Nick Diaz category in the UFC right now, where he's frankly, in terms of the championship, he's irrelevant. And it's just about sort of entertainment fights. And for me, I'm fine with that really, because to me, it's about Poirier.
Yeah, let's get Bully some Diaz rules fights. I mean, come on, 5-round non-main event. Stick it on the poster, like
exactly. Magny Muhammad sounds like a main event to me.
Dude, that's the poster right there.
But I should have said Muhammad Magny.
Come on, dude.
Does he got the 8? Does he have the 8 and you got the 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be Magny Muhammad and then we'll flip that. But anyway, I got to go bet on this soccer game coming up here at 6:30 in the Gold Cup. Appreciate you all being with us. Next week, we'll be previewing Dillashaw Sandhagen. That one, dude.
Oh, my God. Yes. Right. Let's go.
Good luck to Dill. Go
Appreciate
get it done, man. Enjoy it. We'll see you all next Thursday night. Enjoy the fights. Appreciate you being with us. Have a good night.
Peace.